FOMO is an acronym for fear of missing out. And you've probably heard it. If you haven't heard it, it's the buzz word at the moment. And perhaps you've been in a situation yourself where you're running a nice hot bath or you're reading a book on a cozy night in and you feel really cozy, you're reading a book and you're enjoying yourself. Or perhaps you are working over the weekend, or maybe you're in the gym training as an athlete, and out of nowhere you get like a text comes through and your friends are partying somewhere, or you decide I'll have a sneaky peek on social media and you see your friends traveling somewhere, or perhaps your mind wanders and all of a sudden you're sort of having this sort of cozy hot bath or reading a book or doing one of your priorities, like maybe working a bit extra or studying or whatever it is, training, and all of a sudden you have this intense fear of missing out. I should be there, I'm missing out. And that intense fear develops a sense of anxiety, a sense of missing out, a sense of insecurity. And I think we all have an element. We all experience that on some level. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't experience that sometimes. I've certainly been in situations where I'm doing a dissertation or doing some research in the evening or Friday, Saturday evening, and I'm thinking, okay, wouldn't it be great to be at a party or something? Alternatively, I've been maybe working on a weekend, or perhaps I've been training and thinking, okay, well, I could be doing. We all have that. I think the important thing to know is that we all have that to a point. The problem is when it becomes debilitating and you're not focusing on your priorities. And also, you start to feel overwhelmed. So that book you're reading, you're sort of enjoying yourself reading that book, and then all of a sudden you sort of put it down and you start ruminating, or that bath you're having is not as enjoyable. And we all know you need downtime, or perhaps you decide to leave the gym and stop training, and you sort of go out and forget your priorities. And these sort of things are important to sort of face, and it's in the label itself. It's a fear, and confronting our fear would make a good sense, really. What exactly, and questioning our fear, what exactly is it that you're fear of missing? What is it? And I'm going to get back to that shortly. And I think for me there is a correlation, not a causation, with social media. Certainly a correlation. I think it's always been there, but I think with social media being the way it is now, it's a lot easier to sort of to get online and see what everyone else is up to, whereas in the past it was a little bit different. So I think now it's a lot more in people's faces what other people are up to. They could be traveling, they could be partying or whatever, and they think they want to be there too. And one thing to remind yourself, if you feel that way, is that you can't be at all places at once. And whilst I'm not advocating social avoidance, that's for sure, I think the point is sometimes we sort of see the snippet, the showreel of what the person's going through. And, we know everyone is in this situation. They could be out partying, or they could be out traveling. They could be doing something that we think whether we should be doing or be there. You're only seeing a small showreel. You're not seeing the big picture around that. Obviously, every situation has its drawbacks and positive negatives. And I think it's important to take note, because sometimes you can be stuck in a traffic jam trying to get to that party. You could be crowded in an environment where you don't feel you want to be there. The music's not your choice. The people around you aren't the people that you sort of normally associate. So there's a lot of things, obviously. We don't sort of see the small print, do we? We kind of sort of look at things, and the mind being the way it is. So I think for me, one thing to do is to recognize how you feel. So rather than fight it and put the boxing gloves on and fight it, one thing is recognize it and see it as like a knock on the door, like someone knocking on the door, and you open the door and you sort of see it as it is, and what's it telling you, the fear, and you can ask yourself questions in terms of perspective. What exactly am I missing out on? What exactly am I afraid of? What's the situation? What am I missing out on? And accepting it, not resigning yourself, accepting it. Once you've accepted it, it's there, rather than putting the brave face on and trying to convince yourself rationally or get frustrated, overwhelmed by it all. Then you can sort of start to just breathe easy and sort of go back to what you're doing before, and perhaps after you've accepted it, just sort of get to know yourself better, investigate it, and ask yourself, well, what is it we're missing out on? I said earlier, what do I want? Align yourself to your own values, making sure you're aligned to your own goals and values is important. What are your priorities? So if in the gym, your priority could be to get in the shape you want to get into. Perhaps you're training for a an event. If you're studying on an evening, perhaps you're sort of doing the studying to complete a course or to do graduate for a job you want. So making sure you're in line with your own values and your own priorities, and reminding yourself that a perspective to see it is you can't be at all places at once and sort of focus. And sometimes you just need some downtime. Run your own race in life, and you're here, you're where you want to be. And obviously no one's advocating social avoidance. We all like to get out there and enjoy ourselves, but there's a time and place for everything. Sometimes you work the extra weekend, or sometimes you get in that gym, or you do that dissertation, and the likelihood is most of the time, if you really wanted to be there, you probably would have been there anyway. And you've all been in situations, we've all been there before, where we've sort of got out and it's not what we expected anyway. And obviously for me, it's about really running our own race and aligning ourselves to our own values, and also embracing what's going on and the fear or the feeling, whatever that feeling is, asking questions and what exactly am I missing out on? How come I feel this way? You can even ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And so on and so forth. And the quicker you can break that cycle is the quicker you can sort of get back to what you were doing before. So you focus on your dissertation, you focus on the company you're with. Sometimes people are in a certain company and all of a sudden the text will come through and they're not even present in that company. And if nothing else, that's not really good in building relationships. So I think from that point of view, and also making sure that you put 100% in that gym, or you put 100% into what you were doing before, or you just give yourself some downtime to relax and unwind and really enjoy the moment. Be present, be in the moment. That's the only one you've got, and be grateful for the moment you've got, and making sure you're reliant and running your own race and just feeling at peace. Thank you. Live your passion. Boom.